George Trent, the founder of Diamond Bound.
You're awesome! I love you! You're amazing. I'm so pumped. Who's pumped? I think they believe us next door. My goal is for them to all be like, we are having so much fun. Y'all are awesome. Did you know that enthusiasm is contagious? Enthusiasm is contagious. So whenever you get excited about something, if you show up excited about it, guess what? It's contagious. Real good way to build your business. That was a free tip, wasn't even a part of my talk. And by the way, whoever invented dresses with pockets, can I get a witness? Is literally underpaid. Okay, we need to find that woman, because we know it was a woman. Sorry, not sorry. And we need to give her a pay raise, because whenever I ask one of you future diamonds to come and speak on the stage of Diamond Bound in the next few years, because you're all going to hit it, so there's going to be a big pool to pull from, you can conveniently keep your mic pack in your pocket. So start preparing, looking for that dress now. Because that is going to go on your vision board. When I speak at Diamond Bound as a diamond, I'm going to have pockets in my dress so that there can awkwardly be a pink, wire hanging out my back into my pocket, and I'm going to rock it anyway. Cool? Okay. So, I hope everything is functioning backstage, back in the back room, because I'm not in there if it's not. So good luck, LTM. Sorry. This is so fun. This is literally my favorite weekend of the year. I love Diamond Bound. I absolutely love it. I fell in love with it the very first year that we did this. It was in Branson, Missouri. Who's ever been to Big Cedar Lodge? Okay. That is literally the coolest place ever. Put that on your vision board. Want to take my family to Big Cedar Lodge. It's like Disney World for rednecks. Like deer on the walls inside your cabin, but the views, listen. So I took my team there, 125 people. I remember stuffing 125 size 3-ring binders for all these people. And my husband was like, this is so bizarre. I don't get what you're doing. Right now, he's in the other room or a few minutes ago talking about how to create systems and how to, use your time well. So naturally, spending like 3 weeks stuffing binders was a huge income producing activity for me. That was a joke. But we are going to talk about income producing activities today. That was an amazing small start to what has become such an empowering event. How many of you saw a video or a post, or I went live in a group that you saw me talking at some point over the last year about Diamond Bound, or over the last few years? A lot of hands. So I spend 11 months out of the year promoting this event because of this reason. Getting shoulder to shoulder with other people who want what you want and who have a dream and a desire that like you do is so incredibly powerful. And I'm here to deliver some really simple content to you this afternoon. In fact, I'm going to keep it so simple that my PowerPoint is like basically one of those things that whenever you're in 7th grade and your computer science teacher says, our project is to make a PowerPoint for the end of the week. This is basically what that PowerPoint would look like. 3 reasons why the Young Living business will work for you. Now, this is actually strategic. I didn't just, decide I didn't want to try on a PowerPoint. I could have cut more Aladdin clips and all those things. But I'm keeping this super simple because of this. I'm going to talk to you about 3 reasons why this Young Living business will work for you. And that's what you're here for. I don't want to add any fluff to this talk. I want to keep it short, sweet, and to the point. I want you to go home on Monday morning, and I want you to implement the stuff that we talk about. I want you to keep it completely straightforward. Say, okay, if I boil this down, I'm going to do these things. Now, that doesn't mean you don't add to it what all the others are speaking about, but I'm going to just really boil this down. How many of you in here have never enrolled anyone into Young Living? Ever? Raise your hand high. How many of you have enrolled less than 10? Less than 20? How many of you are new to the business within the last 6 months? How many of you have never been to a Young Living business event before? Okay. So most hands have now been raised. This is why we're keeping it super simple. 3 reasons why this business will work for you. Number 1, you do IPAs. It's a little term that we throw around in this Young Living community, stands for income producing activities. I know Ryan touched on it earlier, but I'm going to show you a few things that you can actually do and practice, things that you can do on Monday morning to make the IPA happen. Knowing what an IPA is good. Doing the work to execute IPAs is required. Okay? You've got to do the work. You've got to do the hard work. It's going to be like a job. How many of you want to show up to your job and get paid if you have a job? Anyone want your employer to withhold your income? No. Who's never held a job in this room? Anyone? Okay, everyone in here has held a job. And you know that when you show up to work, you get paid. And yet we look at the Young Living business and we oftentimes don't know what the work is to show up and do so that we get paid. Am I right? You're like, yes, I want to make $3 million a year. Sign me up. Like everyone in America, in the world, is going to say yes to that. The problem is we're like, well, how? Yes, but how? income producing activities is the very nature of making an income and doing activities requires you to treat your Young Living business, your Young Living experience, truly like a job. You are not going to get paid calling in sick. You're only going to get paid unless you're like have sick days, but you know what I mean. Assume that you don't get paid sick days. You're only going to get paid whenever you actually show up. And so you have to show up in your business. Now, there's some of you in here who are like, I don't even know what that means because I don't even have a business yet. Okay, so this is the very first step for you to say, I think this is a great opportunity. I love this company. I think these products can be a benefit to other people. I'm comfortable sharing them and pursuing some goals and dreams that I have financially. Because whenever I help other people with Young Living, I get a paycheck in return. I can do that. That's a good combination for me. When you have made that statement, and how many of you in this room have, in your mind at least, you've said, I want to do this business, right? That's why we're here, I would hope. Some of you may have gotten drugged here by your upline. They were like, if you don't go to Diamond Bound, you're not going to be in our groups anymore. So I understand there's some obligatory members, but for the vast majority of you, you're like, I want to do this business. That is the first step, is for you to decide. For you to decide that you're going to do this as a business, that you want to make a paycheck, that you're treating this like a job. If you're going to treat it like a hobby, then you will get paid like it's a hobby. And y'all know, whenever you go junking on the weekends, anybody? And you like go to like places that sell, junk, antiques, and you buy them and then you go and you fix them up and then you resell them. That's a hobby, friends. Unless you're like an Instagrammer that does that for real. For the bulk of us, that is a hobby. But yet we do this Young Living gig and we're like, hey, this weekend I'm going to go and like hang out with my girlfriends and I'm going to tell them about Young Living. And then we like completely don't do anything else and we're like, I don't get why this isn't working for me. This is a job. You have to decide. It's like when the boss calls you and says, I'm offering you this position, and you say, okay, I'll take it. I'm calling you and saying, I'm offering you this position, and you say, yes. That is the first step. Granted, I don't sign your paychecks, Mary does. But the point is that the opportunity is available for anyone. The opportunity is not discriminatory. It's free and available, as long as you have a social security number on file. So, if you've said yes, then you have to do certain things. There's a lot of gray. There's a lot of things you could do, but there's certain things you have to do. The first thing is that you have to abide by the compensation plan. If you want to get paid like a Royal Crown Diamond, you have to have $1.5 million in OGB sales every single month to get paid like a Royal Crown Diamond. You have to. So if you're looking at that going, okay, if it's required for me to get 1.5 million, then how do I do that? What do I do? And the very first thing that I want you to highlight, bullet, circle, star on your page is this. You must ask yourself intelligent questions. This is so critical because it actually is like personal development within your own mind and within your own heart. You have so much within you already. You are like the 6-inch apple tree that's going to grow in 7 years to be this massive tree that produces tons of fruit. But guess what? The 6-inch tree already has everything in it that it needs to produce all that fruit. That's you. That is you. So you've got to dig into your mind and you've got to say, this is literally how I developed that book. If you've read it, Do the Hard Work, which breaks down the 3 income producing activities. I didn't learn that anywhere. That came from, and you can do this too, this is available to everyone. That came from me sitting down and thinking through the month that I was trying to hit 6,000 OGB so that I could help my sweet enroller hit gold. I was like, I want to hit 6,000 OGB so I can help her hit gold. This was way back. And I opened up my virtual office. I opened up my downline viewer of my team. And I looked at the names and I looked at the if they had thought anything. And I looked at all these stats and I was like, okay, how do I get that number to go up? That's an intelligent question, by the way. That was a freebie. You can start there. How do I get that number to go up? Well, either I can write down a list of names of people that I could enroll, because when I enroll them, it'll be 100 PV towards the total volume, 100 basically dollars. That would make it go up. First income producing activity, enroll somebody. And then I was like, well, I've got all these people sitting at 0 PV that haven't ordered. They enrolled 3 months ago. They've never reordered. Getting people to order product. Get them on Essential Rewards. Second income producing activity. Comes out of just you digging into your business and asking yourself intelligent questions. And this applies across the board, not just to IPA. And then I was like, well, there's these 6 girls who are on Essential Rewards and they're loving their products. So maybe if they all enrolled their mom and they enroll their best friend, then that would be another like 600 OGB if they each enrolled one person. Okay, third IPA. Encourage your team, your downline, your members to enroll someone else. It is literally that simple. And what you have to do in this business, no matter if you build on social media, no matter if you build through YouTube, no matter if you build through girls' nights with, wine and cheese, no matter if you build through big classes, no matter if you build through whatever, going around and doing vendor events, whatever it looks like for you, you have to enroll people. You have to get those people on Essential Rewards or ordering, and you have to get at least a few of those people enrolling new people. That is the only way that you will grow your volume. There is no other way, and those things are absolutely required in this business. I don't care if you have a t-shirt, or if you have a website, or if you have a team name, or if you have 75 Facebook groups. The only way that your OGB is going to grow, the only way that you're going to make a paycheck, the only way that you're going to hit rank is for you to do those 3 things over and over again. Now, how do you enroll somebody? You have to get in front of them. I don't care if that's face-to-face. Hi, what's your name? Megan. If I wanted to enroll Megan, which she's already a member and I don't cross-line recruit, yes. If I wanted to enroll Megan, and I'm like, okay, I believe Megan could really benefit from using lavender in the spring whenever she's dealing with allergies. Don't record this. I am always not compliant, so just never record me. Okay. I'm like, listen, Megan, I know that lavender would benefit you because you have seasonal allergies. And I know that also all the other products would benefit you because I know that part of the reason you have allergies is because all through the fall you were, using pumpkin spice candles. Oh, I hit on pumpkin spice hard, y'all. Okay, this is not the last time. It will keep happening. Why? Because I used to have allergies so bad. And guess what? I don't have any allergies anymore. At all. Ever. For any reason. I used to live on Benadryl. So if I want to enroll Megan, I have to somehow get in front of her, whether that is a video that I have done that says, here's why I use Young Living. Here's why I love Young Living. Here's my stories in Young Living. Whether that is an Instagram ad, which I've never seen anyone do, so that's a wide open market. Whether it is a YouTube video, whether it is a class, whether I say, let's go to Starbucks and not get pumpkin spice lattes, but get, organic tea. Joking, okay, don't throw tomatoes yet. And we get together, or we have a girls' night, or I host a little class at my house, because I think she would just love to learn about natural remedies. And I say, hey, Megan, I'd love to get a couple of my girlfriends together and talk about some of the natural remedies that I have been using in my house. And if you'd love to use them too, we're just going to have super casual conversation about it. We'll pass oils and sniff and smell, and I'll tell you some recipes. Whatever it looks like, you have to get in front of Megan. You have to get your story in front of Megan. And the 4 stories that I always like to tell, who knows them? Raise your hand. Somebody knows 4 stories in here, I know. I see a few hands up. This is it. This is how I teach every class. This is how I do every introduction. This is how I would sit down and coffee with somebody. If I was making an online video, this is the things I would cover. The 4 stories that I always cover when I'm introducing someone, when I've got audience with them. I don't care what platform it's on. I don't care what medium you use. I always cover these 4 things, and that is my story. Number 1. Megan, this is why I have fallen in love with Young Living, because I also used to have allergies. I'm not speaking that over you, by the way. If you don't have allergies, let's just assume covering you, that's not spoken over you. But I also have allergies, had in the past, and I used this and I did that, and now are totally chemical free, and and this is my story. This is why I love Young Living. Now, if you don't have a story yet, it's real simple. Go home, use a few products, put them on, smell them, read the pocket reference of how you can use them, buy a chemical-free product like Thieves Cleaner or Thieves Toothpaste, and guess what? You have a story. Your story is, I'm committed to trying to always improve my home and the quality of my home, and I'm committed to trying to go more natural whenever I can. That's a story. It doesn't have to be, y'all, listen, I had stage 4 cancer, and I was completely healed of it. It doesn't have to be that, because that's not going to be most of our story. So if you're waiting, because I know someone in this room is waiting to have that breakthrough story where you're like, I had the MRI and I went back the next day and it was clear. It was the Pegasus. Why are you waiting for a story like that? That doesn't have to be your story. It's just, this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I'm convicted by, and we're so excited. Second story, our generation's story. Our generation's story. It would be perfectly acceptable to throw pumpkin spice in that part. Our generation's story is that our friends and family are getting sicker, not healthier. They are dying faster, not slower. Hospitals are being built everywhere. Every other person that I talk to has some kind of ailment. And when I go into the doctor's office, which I don't really ever do, but when I do, occasionally, they say, what medications are you on? When I was a kid, they were like, are you on any medications? Now they're like, what are you on? And I'm like, is this really that big of a thing? Everyone is medicated. Do I want to go down this path right now? But that reminds me an awfully lot of the Nazi Germans. Sorry, not sorry. Listen. Some of you are like, I am so confused right now. We're going to get to know each other, and then you're going to understand. Because I get a little bit hot when I talk about our generation's story. Because I tell you what, there is literally nothing that makes me more frustrated and mad than the fact that I have to look at my kids, all 5 of them, every single day, who I can never replace who their mother was to them. Every day, that's my reality. halfway through. Listen, you don't have to have a dramatic story, but you got to know what the truth is. Because that truth is relevant whether you live a perfectly normal life or not. Because our generation is dying. Not only are they dying in their bodies, they're dying in their minds and in their hearts to believe, to have creative thought, to have independent choice making. All of those things are robbed because every single store that we walk into sells the same crap. Sorry, Mom. I said crap from the stage. And so we just normalize that. That is our generation's story. And then I tell the third story, which is the Young Living story. The Young Living story is this. Actually, I want to say something. It is a known fact for those of you who need to make this connection right now. Parabens are in most female products that are sold to females. Parabens are found in breast cancer tissue. Not a theory, there's a direct correlation. And I know some people are in this room are like, I don't get why you just made that big statement about your husband's first wife's breast cancer. There's a direct correlation to the products that people use and the sicknesses that they have. Period. Okay, moving on. And story number 3, the Young Living story. This is the part that I introduced the and the clouds open, and the angels descend, and they all play on very nice violins and harps. Why? Because it's like you're selling the whole, not the nail. The whole is, here's a problem that we have in our generation. Here's a problem that you probably face in your own home that you may not even realize. That you're completely dependent upon a system that literally does not care a lick about you. And people don't even realize it. And so you sell the whole, not the nail. Because whenever the whole clicks for them and they get it, then they're asking for the nail. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to come in there and be like, Young Living this and Young Living that and Young Living this. Tell them why. Tell them our generation's story. Tell them your story. Relate. Help them to connect the dots. And then the Young Living story is just, hey, this is an amazing company. They have amazing products. They've been around for 25 years. They are working incredibly hard to be your one-stop shop for all wellness, natural, chemical-free products, period. They are working extremely hard to be your online, natural wellness shop. And you can get it delivered to your house every single month or whenever you want to, right to your doorstep. You can shop without pants on. I was just making sure you're all still listening, okay? And you get it delivered right to your door. And they are the best because they were country when country wasn't cool. If you live south of the Mason-Dixon, you know what I'm talking about. If you're under the age of 25, you don't know what the Mason-Dixon is. Okay, I just aged myself for a second. We're in Nashville. We're in the South. I was country when country wasn't cool. You know that song? That was Gary. That was Gary. He was doing the wellness thing before Amazon bought Whole Foods. Hello, let me just talk about that for a second. The richest man in the world is Jeff Bezos. Well, actually, he's like now the 5th richest because his wife divorced him, and now he's got like half the wealth. So now he's the 5th richest man in the world as of like 8 months ago. I don't follow news, but I just happened to read that. Richest man in the world. I think he's figured out something, right? He has a lot of insight. He has a lot of foresight. He's pretty smart in business. And last hit share. Let's buy. All of your bells, whistles, flashers, sirens, flags should be going off. Because what that says is that the richest man in the world, who started literally the most amazing platform that is now a household common name in 15 years, has decided and determined, matter-of-factly, establishing for our entire culture that there is an enormous market in the future for wellness products. Enormous market. People want what you have. They want it. I'm not just saying that because I'm trying to support what I do as a career. I'm saying that because the evidence is there on every front. I'm saying that because doesn't like Lowe's and Home Depot sell oils now? I don't even know. Next to the hammer section, there's some lavender. Just in case, grab a bottle. I mean, there's a market for it. People want it. You would literally have to be living under a rock to be like, no, I do not have any desire for something more natural, because like it's just a thing now. There's a lot of margins in there. There's a lot of variance of what people think is natural and what they want and all those things. But as a general rule, people want what Young Living has if they're made aware of it. They want what you have because you bring culture too, and fun, and a face, and support, and love. The Young Living story can be, let's talk about the beauty care line. Let's talk about baby care, seedlings. Let's talk about the starter kit. Let's talk about seasonal support and allergies. Let's talk about your immune system. Let's talk about whatever, raindrop. Let's talk about healing oils of the Bible, ancient oils of Scripture. Let's talk about oils as they're used for the last 10,000, 6,000 years. 6,000. It does not matter what you fill in with the Young Living story. If I'm sitting here with Megan, the Young Living story is going to be, I know that she has allergies. I asked her to go have some Starbucks with me. We start talking and I'm like, okay, listen, I know that you have allergies. I have to tell you that I use lavender essential oil. Have you ever heard of lavender essential oil? Yes, that was a bad example. Everyone's heard of lavender essential oil. Have you ever heard of like Young Living essential oils? I use Young Living lavender and it completely got rid of my allergies. Does that sound salesy? No. That's like, oh, your kid is having a birthday party. I got balloons, for $10 at Party City. That's literally the exact same type of conversation I'm having with her at this point. I'm telling her my story because it's relevant and it benefits her. If she had come to a class where I told her we were going to be talking about natural remedies, I would probably go into a little bit more of, the history of how I got started and some of the many stories that we have. But if I'm one-on-one with her, I care about what she cares about. I care about like what Richard Brooks said earlier, what's in it for me. I care about what she cares about because she's thinking about herself and I'm thinking about myself, but I have to think about her. And that's a skill. Whenever you're sitting in front of people, you're not thinking about you, you're thinking about her. What's in it for you? Okay, so let me tell you this as it relates to you. So whatever that looks like, you're sharing about Young Living. You're sharing about Seed to Seal. You're sharing about how they were country when country wasn't cool. They were doing this for years and decades before it became popular. Why does that matter, by the way? When I first signed up for Young Living, I got a Seed to Seal disc. It was like, I think like a DVD. Does that date me in this company? In my starter kit. And it said on it, printed, Seed to Seal. And I was like, oh my word, I am not watching this dumb marketing video. And I threw it in the trash can. Along with my Ninja Red packets. Listen, I know. I've already cried the grief. you know, because I thought that this was just another company that wanted to market to me. I didn't have time for it. I didn't want to learn a new language of this Young Living thing. I was just like, I don't care. And it's important for you to remember that people don't care until you get them to care. So the Young Living story part is for you to get them to care. But that Seed to Seal video, I remember thinking, that is so strange. Why would they put this video in here? And why the heck does this matter? And what is Seed to Seal? I have no idea. But then whenever I started digging more into Young Living, because the oils were working for me, they were working for my kids, they were solving colds, flus, deeper issues, emotional issues, all kinds of things we were solving with these oils. And then I started looking into Young Living, and then I started realizing that that is actually the difference. That is actually why people would buy Young Living over the lavender next to the hammer at Lowe's. That's why. Because not all oils are created equally. Not all products, not all companies who put a green leaf on the front of their product actually have anything remotely healthy or natural in them. But they know that it sells. They know, just like we know, that Whole Foods was acquired because the green leaf sells. If you're going to buy some cleaner and it's like hot pink and neon green and purple and black writing on it, you're going to be like, oh, I don't know if that's healthy. Oh, there's a white bottle next to it with a huge green leaf in the middle and it says natural hair care. Sign me up. That's called greenwashing. That has literally nothing to do with what's in the ingredient label. It's just the type of bottle that they chose to put it in. There are so many products on the market that people think that they're using something all natural. People will come to me literally every single day of my life for the last 6 years and say, hey, I have this health issue. Do you know of something that I could use Young Living with it for? However they ask that. And I'm like, okay, yes, for sure. Let's start with the products that you use in your house because those are probably a huge part of why you have the issue in the first place. And people often say, well, I already have cleaned up everything. I use all natural stuff. I use Myers. Sorry, not sorry. Look at the ingredient label, not rocket science. I'm like, no, let's really look at the ingredients that you're putting on your body. All of that is what makes Young Living different. So when you're telling the Young Living story, friends, this is so relevant, this is so important, because I want Megan to enroll. I want her to have the benefit of Young Living. I want her to use the products, and I hope that she'll take advantage of the amazing business opportunity, but she's not going to do it unless I convince her. I have to convince her. So your skill that you're learning to convince her is by saying the things that she needs to know and she needs to hear to help her make an informed decision. And if you do a good job of helping her know why Young Living, nobody in their right mind could actually hear the truth of who Young Living is and still want the Lowe's lavender. It's your job to convince her. That is the Young Living story. Read Mary's book. Learn about the farms. It's very simple once you dig into it. It doesn't take all day. You can spend 3 hours reading about it and you'll feel pretty dang confident and pretty proud of what Young Living has done. The fourth story is their story. Their story. By the way, Megan, you can type on your phone. It's okay. I'm not actually expecting you to look at me. My feelings are not hurt at all. Megan, weird tiny box of oils came to my house. I had no idea what to do with it. It was a very strange experience. But now I'm in love with this company and these products, and I buy them at 24% off. I get them all the time. I have a totally chemical-free home. I love it. I would love to see you make that switch. You can buy a starter kit, $165. Isn't there like free shipping this month? Stop free shipping. I should know that. Okay, in my defense, I was in the Diamond Bound hustle, so I kind of missed all those. Anyway, so free shipping, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. I'm going to send you a link. Whenever you're ready to jump in, grab your starter kit. That is how Young Living relates to her. That is how her story begins. That's her story. Those are the 4 stories that I tell every single time that I want to get someone to enroll. Okay, listen, I am going way over. Do you want me to keep going?